Okay, we had a big day today. And the bill passed, and I think it's going to do very well in the House. We'll see how that works out, but looks like it's ahead of schedule. See what happens. Happy about it. This was great today, going down to Florida and seeing what Homeland and Ron and everybody else have been able to do in a very short period of time. So happy about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead. Any questions?
Massey.
What about him?
Just give us a little idea of not only who you want to replace.
I think he does a good job for the country. He's always a no. I call him Rand Paul Jr. He's always a no. Nothing constructive at all. I mean, just terrible. Thomas Massey from Kentucky. And nothing constructive. I don't think he's a very smart guy. Good education, but that's about it.
I guess what I should have asked is, to what degree are you trying to make an example out of him so that no one else,
Think about it. I mean, when I oppose somebody, and for some reason the voters, almost always, they seem to go along with me because they know I'm working hard. I have a nice high IQ. They like that, we like high IQ people. But they know I make good decisions. That's why we have the hat. Trump was right about everything, right? But, I don't like guys like they just keep saying, no, I vote no, I vote no. There's nothing. Let him do something. Let him get what he wants to vote yes. But if you look at his voting record, it's always against.
What do you like?
Oh, he's going to have an opponent. He's going to have a big opponent, a good opponent, who's going to win. A poll just came out, and it showed anybody I endorse against Massey loses by 25 points. So he's going to be history, I think.
How much arm twisting do you think you'll have to do to get it past the House now? What's your game plan for that?
I felt the Senate was going to be tougher than the House. We got there. We got pretty much what we wanted. It's an amazing package. It's the biggest bill ever passed if we get this done. Most of the people wanted 7 or 8 different bills. And I thought that was tougher because there'd be, 100%, but then there'd be nothing. This bill has something for everybody by doing it this way. So we're happy about it. We're happy with the result.
So are you concerned that they're going to want to make further changes in the House?
Well, they're going to ask for certain changes, probably. I don't know. I mean, I guess what would happen, if that happens, you'd then have to run it fast past the Senate, so, it never ends. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Do you think it's still possible to get this done by Friday?
Right. On occasion, that will happen where they'll make a change and they'll get it passed. So we go pretty quickly. But I think the Senate was a very big movement. They worked very hard. I didn't get along with Tillis, and he resigned. He's good. That's a good thing.
To run for that seat, sir? Tom, tell us the seat.
Well, somebody that would really be great is Laura. She grew up there, but they live in Florida. They have a very good life, and they're great people. She did fantastically running the RNC. She's even got a show it's like the #1 show, and Mark Levin is likewise. I mean, they have the #1, #2 show over the weekend. So she's done well. She's a great person, Laura Trump. I mean, that would always be my first choice, but she doesn't live there now. But she's there all the time. Her parents are there. She really knows North Carolina well, and I won it 3 times. I don't know who the candidates are going to be. I think you're going to have one of the congressmen step up and should do very well.
So has she talked to you about it at all?
No. It's so soon. I had it out with this guy 2 nights ago, and he resigned, which I was happy about. He did us all a favor.
Sir, you spent a lot of time with Secretary Noem today, obviously. Did you discuss with her at all this report about an $80,000 dark money payment she received in 23 and appears to have been kept off her federal disclosure forms this reg?
No, I haven't. I didn't do it. You're telling me this for the first time. I think she's done an amazing job.
On Secretary Noem, you talked about how
Who are you with?
the Washington Examiner, sir, Christian Daytime.
Good paper, actually.
Thank you. Are you concerned right now, again, with the speed of the deportations? Obviously, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller have talked about this isn't enough. What exactly is enough?
A long period of time. We're going to have a lot of angst because it's a tough thing. But no, I think they're doing an amazing job. And we're doing a lot of home deportations. We're doing a lot of deportations or self-deportations where they come in and they deport, and then they want to come back into the country. And they can only come back into the country under no circumstances unless they go out the proper way. Otherwise, they're never coming back in. No, I think it's going very well. Look, Biden did us a tremendous disservice when he allowed this to happen to our country. And I always said it's the toughest thing. I had inflation and I got rid of it. We don't have inflation. I had a bad economy and we set a new stock market high today. We're doing unbelievable. The country is doing unbelievable. I always said the most difficult thing is what happened at the border, allowing 21 or 25 million people to come into our country. It's the most difficult thing. I think we're doing a fantastic job at getting them out. But you have a lot of self-deporting and a lot more than people understand, that those people are eligible maybe to come back in.
Mr. President, are you thinking of extending the pause on tariffs beyond July 9th?
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking about the pause. I'll be writing letters to a lot of countries, and I think you're just starting to understand the process. We've dealt with Japan. I'm not sure if we're going to make a deal. I doubt it with Japan. They're very tough. You have to understand they're very spoiled. I love Japan. I really like the new prime minister too. Abe was one of my closest friends. As you know, the new prime minister is great. He's a very strong guy. But they and others are so spoiled from having ripped us off for 30, 40 years that it's really hard for them to make a deal. It's very hard. As an example with Japan, they won't take rice, and yet they desperately need rice. You know that. But they won't take rice. They won't take other products that we have. But think of it, they need rice so badly, but they won't take rice. I figured that was an easy one. Or the cars, as you know, they send out millions. We didn't give them one car in 10 years. They won't take any cars, but they'll sell millions. So we tell them, sorry, you can't do that. And we have a great relationship, great reliance, and really a great sort of a partnership in a way. But on trade, they've been very unfair. And those days are gone. So what I'm going to do is I'll write them a letter and say, we thank you very much. And we know you can't do the kind of things that we need. And therefore, you'll pay a 30%, 35%, or whatever the number is that we determine, because we also have a very big trade deficit with Japan, as you know. And it's very unfair to the American people. So they maybe will be happy, they maybe won't be happy. But some countries we won't even allow to trade. But for the most part, we're going to determine a number and just very simply write them a nice letter, probably one page or a page and a half at the most. And it's going to be essentially congratulations. It's going to be an honor to allow you to go and do business in the United States of America, because it really is an honor to be able to do that. But we never viewed it that way in this country. And you saw we took in $129 billion in tariffs already. We haven't even started. No inflation. Our country's strong. Our interest rate should be 3 points lower. If our interest rate was 3 points lower, that's almost $1 trillion in cost. And it's done just by the signing of a pen. But we have a moron at the head of the Fed. He's a moron.
Speaking of Jay Powell, do you have a top choice of someone to succeed him?
I have 2 or 3 top choices.
Can you tell us those?
No.
Are there other trade deals that are close to being done that you think you will announce over the next week?
Before we're going to have a deal with India, possibly. And that's going to be a different kind of a deal. It's going to be a deal where we're able to go in and compete. Right now, India doesn't accept anybody in. I think India is going to do that. And if they do that, we're going to have a deal for much less tariffs.
DeSantis was smart.
You tell me, by the way.
You're up. Hey, real quickly, you mentioned Alejandro Mayorkas. He was impeached in the House, but cleared in the Senate. Investigating him, could we investigate the auto pen? What's their further investigation on that?
The auto pen is under investigation. The auto pen's a serious thing. I think it's one of the most serious things I've heard. Mayorkas was a terrible, terrible secretary, but he was given orders to do things, and the people that gave those orders probably have pardons. You know, Biden pardoned a lot of people. The only one he didn't pardon was himself. But I don't know if I'd do to him what he did to me. Problem is, he wouldn't understand what happened, so maybe it wouldn't be so
There's
bad.
a video with Speaker Johnson is telling him about how he stopped the LNG gas and he thought it was something else. How many more examples do you think there are that that President Biden just didn't, in fact, know what he was doing?
President Obama was a terrible president. President Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. President Bush should not have gone into the Middle East and blown the place up. So I don't give him high marks either. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I give Trump very high marks. Goodbye, everyone.